Oh, precious channel. It is I, your friend Jerford K. Horkims. I am joined by Eric Benson, brewmaster for Acquisitions Intoxicated, a weekly ritual.
Yes, weekly.
Church adjacent, where we worship a human art form and invite you into the core of it. So, very, very briefly, just to go over the arc of the show, we're going to start by putting our ingredients here for Barley a Horse.
Barley a Horse.
Barley a Horse, a brew designed to reflect the general affection.
That we all share.
Indeed, thank you so much for the sub. The general affection for the precious horse who died and rose again in a substantially more expensive format. After we do that, we're going to look over a few treasures that have been sent in. Then we are going to, with your help, decide a new brew concept, choose which character to honor in this way. Then we'll put the whole thing together, decide what we're going to do next week, and that should be a pretty good show, pretty solid hour and a half.
Yes.
Ready?
That's all I'm saying.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Let's
do
go.
It. Yeah, I love this though. See, because I have the regular clip mic.
Yeah, I got the fuzz.
But so Josh gave you this fuzzy one.
It looks like I got like chest hair.
No, it looks like you were rocking some kind of a tuft. And
it's supposed to go on the inside of your shirt.
It is on the inside of my shirt, but I just toughed out a little every now and then.
No, listen.
Sometimes you gotta tough it out.
Listen, in my cosmology, like very, very quickly, I mean, I'd only seen it for a few seconds, but already I'd begun to worship it as a sort of god.
Yeah, you want to want the tough exposed.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be a part of it.
Listen.
So let's take a look at the incredible grains.
Oh, smell these grains for Barley a Horse.
Now here, so Barley a Horse, style-wise, what are we looking at? Akent, Brewmaster,
this was
Eric Benson.
Belgian Golden Strong Ale. These were developed around 1922, and what they do is they were there to kind of not combat, but get into the marketplace when Pilsners were becoming a big thing. So these beers, these Belgian Golden Ales, are really primarily based with Pilsner malt as the main smell that you're going to be getting off of it.
Easy to get.
Crisp, clean, easy to get, affordable. So really all we did with this was we took 5.5 pounds of Pilsner malt, combined it with a little bit of Crystal, 40, about 1/4 pound of Crystal 40.
Indeed, with the assistance of the channel.
Yep. And then what's going to give us, and that's really all the malts we have in here. It's a very basic malt bill.
Yeah, very traditional, at least by Akent standards.
Yes.
You know, what's funny is that from the top, all the sweeter, all the caramel malts sort of went to the bottom of the chamber. The top basically smelled like silage.
Yeah.
It was just like horse feed. Yeah. But then once I got it in here.
Yeah, your cross is getting something different now,
exactly.
Right?
Now it's switching up.
Yeah, so what's really we decided that this horse has to kick,
hey, Josh,
right?
I left the hop chambers back in the kitchen. I fucked that up super bad. That's me. That's me fucking that up.
Yes, Duvel is a Belgian Golden Strong Ale, and it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, legendary.
If you can get your hands on it, which you can't, most places it has it. Yeah. Give it a try. You're really going to be in for a treat. But what's interesting about the way this is brewed is they were typically brewed with tons and tons of table sugar. Just regular white table sugar.
White sugar.
White sugar. And that's what gives it a lot of the ABV. That's what's going to
exactly. So it's not off the grain bill.
No. And that's what's going to give us those.
It's so funny though, with the Pilsner basis and then the addition of the white sugars. Yeah. That sounds so industrial.
Right.
Right?
And aptly appropriate for 1922, right?
Thank you.
Or the 1920s.
Thank you. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it just fits into that time period.
An artifact,
if you will. But a delicious one.
So let's take full advantage. What's going on in the cages?
Danny Hartel, look who's in the chat.
Danny Hartel, what?
What?
Wow.
And Punk Jr., this is great.
We are talking about a situation, this is Acquisitions Intoxicated is, as we have seen,
Yeah.
both in the real world and in the digital one, is a place where interesting people come together,
Right.
share their experiences. Obviously, Danny Hartel is putting together kick-ass costuming for the C
It
team.
looks amazing.
You know, what's funny is that once we have it all,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking about how we could use those on stage.
Right.
But there's no reason we couldn't have a dress-up day.
On here.
We could have a dress-up
Oh
day
my
for
God.
the regular show.
And you don't, yeah. Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
Hey, so Cage 1, what are we thinking about?
Cage 1, this is going to be our first hop edition, and this is the classic hop, the Saz. We're putting
here.
in 3/4 of an ounce of Saz into it.
That's these bad boys here.
Yep. And
Oh man,
yeah,
but this is not like the others.
No.
One of these kids is doing its own thing.
yeah.
What is that? It's much more. It's tart, but it's muted compared
Right.
to a lot of the other. Well, you know why? It's because we're obsessed with really extreme hops.
Right, we're obsessed with like the Citras, the Mosaics.
Yeah, exactly.
This is gonna
Amarillo.
this is going to give you that earthy.
Yes, yeah,
body
that's
to
what it is. The tone is
Yeah.
way down here. So 3/4 of an ounce.
You got it.
What's next?
Now the next, we're going to put a clarifier in. We don't
is
really
that
need
Warlock?
to. Yep. But if you want to, you can.
It's not. It's optional.
It's optional. You can toss that one right in the second cage.
Uh-huh.
Amy T. Falcone.
Amy the Falcon.
What? Caw.
All right. Where we're going to next?
Next is going to be 2 additions in the same cage. The first is going to be our Stryan Golding hops.
Yeah. You know, we had looked at these
Yeah.
because it was a traditional.
Yep.
Whoa.
These are made in Slovenia. Or they originated in Slovenia.
Yeah. Alpha's not crazy.
No.
But the scent.
Yeah. And we're going to be putting that in at 5 minutes.
Oh, so
which-
right before the end.
right before the end.
So
which-
this is up here. We're trying to get aroma.
Exactly. This is going to be all aroma, very little bittering into the beer.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't anyway.
No. Yeah.
No matter when we added it, because only 4%. So throw these in here to number 3.
Yep. Throw them right in. But here, you can keep
So-
that one open.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so this is the grace note, right? Like you understand that when we came up with the idea to do this coriander beverage, the first thing we thought about. And understand that we were in the woods. I was dressed as a German trader.
One would say. Yes.
One would say. You were dressed as how would you describe your SCA garb?
A Viking Jarl.
A Viking Jarl. Oh, because it's your household.
Yeah.
Right? So we were out literally sitting on rocks.
Sitting on a rock. Can we describe this? Like I had to.
Please do.
I had to tell Mike about this the other day, Faye, because I'm like, this was the coolest thing ever, and I'm like, when are we ever going to get to do this again? And we were all both like, oh, next year.
Yeah.
But we where we camped, there was a river that was just adjacent to us. We walked down
It was
a little
not
hill.
20 feet away.
Yeah. And we said, oh, hey, it's Saturday. We should be writing the C team.
This is when we write the C team. So understand that even this show that you're watching now has its origins in
Right.
these Saturday excursions.
Exactly.
But in any case, we are seated on rocks in the middle of a river.
in the middle of a river.
Yeah,
Water
exactly.
surrounding us.
I never want to assume that you have also seen the C team, but that river is what generated the character of Spice Caraway.
Yeah.
For good or ill, you know.
We'll see what happens.
For good or ill. Anyway, but we knew right away that we wanted to do a strong ale, a golden ale.
Yeah.
But that we wanted to have an addition of coriander seed.
Yep. And we figured, right on par, right on brand, we'll put it right for coriander.
Exactly.
So we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of coriander right in with those hops.
Right. It's like a peppercorn almost, is the way that it looks. It looks like a grain.
Yep.
And it's supposed to impart a citrus rind character.
Absolutely.
I can't, man. When we will know as soon as the third chamber gets flooded, we will know about this, right?
I mean, you can just, if you smell the bag, you can just get citrus coming off the nose.
So weird, and a little bit of spice, which
Yep.
is something we've been playing around with as well. Well, I think that's our basket, mon frere.
Yep.
Let's get it popping. Now, there have been concerns in the past. This is obviously
Things could happen.
This is an important time
We're
You
all
know,
rooting for you.
in the life of a grain basket.
Just know that myself and The Amber Council there is
They're ready to roll.
rooting for you to put this in on the first try.
All right. I have a system. Ladies,
Everyone,
gentlemen, every conceivable coordinate in between.
look at that. I'm not saying.
Here's what happened. First try.
I mean,
First try. Right in. One time. Yeah.
sometimes,
Exactly right.
sometimes life is good.
Exactly right. No, it's like this isn't like those other brewing shows.
Where stuff goes haywire, wort goes flying.
Well, no, exactly. Sometimes one of the tubes on these lesser shows,
fly
sometimes-
off the rail.
Sometimes one of the tubes is not 100% connected. I'm trying to figure out a good grain song for today
Ooh.
because we're gonna need it, right?
Yes, you need a grain song.
All right, loading up the recipes off of the Wi-Fi.
Bob the
Barley a
Ninja
horse?
Goldfish. We on tap today. We have another keg worth of the Red Larch regular, but this one has been aging for an additional 3 weeks or 2 weeks because I
2
brewed
weeks.
it a little earlier.
Exactly.
And-
But this is why that's important. So we tried Trashed Witch, and Trashed Witch is hot, as we described.
Yep.
So the alcohol is very, very present, and it was always going to be there because, listen, Holly gave us a request.
Exactly.
She said 9.3%
and we
alcohol,
went
and by
with it.
God,
we are giving her 9.3%.
we did it. But it's almost like when you get like a shot or something like that has a float of the 151.
Right.
It's not balanced, but there's enough going on inside there that will balance it, but it has to rest.
Yeah.
It has to rest in there. So we tasted, for the very first time today, we also tasted Doomgate Inn Dark Wine.
Oh, let me tell you, I am
Wow.
excited for the Doomgate Inn Dark Wine. It's going to take a bit for that to ferment,
Yes.
but when it is done, the characteristic of that beer is absolutely phenomenal.
No, it's gonna be. Listen, it's gonna be another world-class effort.
Yeah, we're
Like, and again,
batting like 1,000.
No,
here.
exactly. But I mean, this is a collaboration. It
Yeah.
isn't like I'm saying, oh, well, I did this awesome thing, and so
Right.
behold, like, I brewed it 2 hours ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? This isn't like a Watchmen thing.
No,
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
What I'm saying is that somehow this bizarre nexus
Right.
is
That-
creating world-class shit on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to create a recipe with 500 to 1,000 people that are in the chat,
Yeah.
and then have it come out and be this wonderful taste, not knowing what kind of knowing what we're going into.
Exactly. Well, we know about the style.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll throw curveballs in there that result in superior product.
Yeah.
So when it came to the dark wine, basically we can taste. You bring it in. You involve your apparatus.
Right.
And then you have that alcohol, and then you have all the other things that it means, all the other choices that we made together. Eventually, that top note, that hot alcohol burn, is going to move into the middle of that profile.
Right.
And that just takes time.
Right.
It just takes time. Young wines are the same way.
Exactly. It's the same exact thing. And I'm looking at the malt build for the dark wine.
Yeah.
And I remember when we did this, the chat, we gave them the option of pale malt or going with Maris Otter.
Right.
And they went full Maris Otter to really bring a different
Exactly.
style or different flavor
Well,
to that
yeah,
style.
and it basically drinks like a meal.
Yeah.
And I think it's a direct result of that heartier profile.
Yeah, absolutely.
In any case, lots of stuff to cover real quick. Here, I'll give you back your products. Little clues. Rolled through earlier with some extra products. It looks like
These over here.
even more 3D printed cookies.
Laser cookers.
Oh my gosh, these. Okay, here I'll have to show you these here. So Josh, is the special camera working?
Sure. Yep.
So I have a treasure camera.
Oh my God! Look
don't know.
at what she gave us. Look at it's a flight paddle.
A flight paddle.
Clues! Are you still in the office? Oh my God! That is the coolest thing ever.
Good Lord. Well, here. Let's try the taster glasses. Right?
I don't know. I want to cry a little first. Can I get off camera? I mean, that's...
Oh, look at this.
What? Clues!
Look at this beautiful glassware. Good Lord. Clues.
Oh,
You're spoiling us, kid.
God, Clues, it's amazing.
Right? So look at this. You can go through the whole paddle. Yeah, but you know what, God? I'm gonna cry. I don't.
Like that's so like.
I'm gonna cry. So here's what's up, right? We actually have enough beers to fill out a paddle.
I know.
Like you could go. You could go to the pub style inn of our fantasies, and literally we would need something like this because the roster's deep. It's deep. Oh,
Guys,
man.
if you ever wanted to see two grown men cry on a screen,
exactly. Listen.
This is the one for you.
Yeah,
it might happen.
You're going to need to change the tag to IRL.
Yeah.
Josh.
Shit's getting real.
Here, but look at these. Here. I'll bring it down here.
Side. Yep, there you go.
Look at this.
This is crab.
So if you have this emote, if you have the crab emote, obviously this would be a great opportunity for you to utilize it. Good God.
Oh.
Then a few more classic. You know what? I'm gonna save these here. I'll save these C-Team cookies here for the crew. We got some PA product. But look at this. We got some walnut donggrass,
What?
right?
Amy, are you seeing that?
Kick ass. Kick ass. Look at
Good
this flight
Lord.
paddle.
We have a flight paddle.
Flight paddle. Now,
We could literally serve it to people that are coming in
I know.
off of the flight paddle.
I know. This is too much. We don't deserve it. Now,
Full paddle.
oh yeah, full paddle. Exactly right. Now, so let's take a look real quick. So obviously, generally speaking, can you throw me one of those pellet bags for the hops?
Oh yeah.
So I want you to see this.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I want you to sort of see the distinction here. Now that I have this cool cam that Josh set up out of nowhere and at exactly the right time, which is why he's producer of the year 2 years running. So those are hops. Now that is not like romantic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't.
In the classic sense.
It doesn't instill the senses. You know?
Exactly. But this is what the actual thing looks like. So these are from my fence. We'll be using some of these in the Blind Faith, in the Porter.
In the Porter.
The Porter for Cathristraub, the blackberry porter. We're gonna come at that with dry hop with a bunch of fresh hops from the fence. At least one of them was Centennials, but I don't think these are Centennials. But here's the deal, right? So you can just pull these off.
Yep.
This is how you know it sort of like gives a little bit.
Yep.
But then it springs back out.
As long as it has a little bounce into it is where you really want it to be.
Exactly. And so here's the vital part of this that you should know. So inside here, you see this, the yellow stuff here? That is basically at the base of all these. That's where those glands are. So take a look at that. So everything that you're trying to get out of the hop is that stuff that's in the core of it here. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're into this sort of thing, it smells incredible. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I find the hop itself to be a very attractive, a reasonable, pleasing plant.
Smell aside.
Yeah.
Not only will it make your garden smell phenomenal, or your fences, because they'll grow rapidly over your fences.
Well, yeah, they will grow as much as you let them.
Yeah,
like they're insane.
Weak. Yeah.
Right? Okay.
All right.
So,
well, first things first.
It's time to get to work.
How about you pour some of that?
Here, so you already grabbed some?
No, that was just pour me an actual glass.
Oh, okay, here, I'll grab two. So, anybody who is around in the office who wants to come and get a hold of some of this product.
Jeff!
So this is the Red Larch Regular.
How's he not?
It is. He's probably getting his growler. Just give him some time. The main thing is that this is the house ale of the Drawn and Courtier. It's a single hop red ale designed because both it's a classic style, but also with a single hop scenario. What we're talking about. C-Team producer Alyssa. What?
What?
What the? You can't. No,
Jeff.
You can't bring a jar.
Jeff.
You can't have.
I mean,
We'll handle this. Don't worry about it. But the main thing is that it was designed to be something that she could make
Yeah.
on the stove while the rest of the things that the inn gets up to are happening. If she has to chase a couple kids around, she can do it. Right? There we go.
All right.
Yeah, so grab
Actually,
some.
I want to taste it. First.
Yeah, taste this first. This is going to be a lot more mellow and have a little bit more of that nut flavor to it.
So
because it's had some time to age.
just like Trashed Witch.
That was not good.
Yeah, just like Trashed Witch and just like Dark Wine, even lower ABV beers mellow out.
Right,
So it's
over
like
time.
technically speaking, you could drink it at 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's not where it's going to go. I mean, even in the bottle, it's going to have another destiny.
Right. The flavor profile is going to change.
Right.
Let me.
You're going to change the pressure?
Yep, just so it's more. I poured it correctly. It's still.
Oh, no, you did it. So if there's too much pressure inside the keg, it'll go crazy. Oh, yeah, this is much better. Jeff, you learned how to do it correctly. You did well.
So proud of Jeff.
Exactly.
These past few weeks.
Mellowed it.
Melt out.
Yeah, mellow it out.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
My palate's fucked.
oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to say anything.
Oh, no,
Yeah, what do you think?
sure. Did you eat a bunch of, like, Sour Patch Kids before you came in?
So, this is all wound up very nicely. No, I've been not feeling well. So,
Oh, here.
My sinuses are all kind of messed up.
So Jeff is saying that his sinuses are goofed, and so his apparatus isn't there. But you know what, though?
I can't taste. I mean, I can tell it's mellower, but,
But think about it like this.
I'm picking up a lot more hops than I did in last week.
Yeah. So sometimes you have to, like, sometimes you have to mix a piece of audio for AM radio, right? Just because it's a different environment, it's able to carry a different, like the audio quality is very different. So there's still value in an assessment. But yeah, it's gonna hit the palate in a different way because
Yeah.
you don't have human sinuses.
No, yeah, it's like
Right?
I'm like I can tell that I'm not appreciating this as much. Because what's coming across now is a
The
much,
top end?
Yeah, it's the hops. It's
Yeah, you're going to get more hops.
Yeah.
oh Nathan's one up on me. He brought another. We're not going to have enough
Yes,
to pour
that's what I
around.
like
He's
to
got
see.
a big growler too.
Nathan, this is the red larch still, but aged for about 2 more weeks. So it's going to be a little more hop forward, and a little, you're going to get a little more the nut flavor coming.
Yeah,
off of it.
I was surprised. The first round had a pretty interesting balance already.
No, it's very good. I actually still have some left in my growler from last week, and it's just in the fridge chilled. It's fantastic. It's so smooth.
It works. It works. I
I
think.
had it with Mexican food the other night and it went really well, actually.
Oh yeah.
Because it was, it just worked out really well. It feels like it would be really good for any sort of spicy barbecue. And so,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, right. Like it's
Like we were
normally you
doing
spice with
ribs?
spice, but the sweet.
Oh,
with the
there you
sweet-
go. Yeah,
it
a
brought out-
Carolina type
It brings
sauce.
out, it brings out a little bit of the sweetness in it. So, yeah, I was having some Mexican with some mole sauce, and it went really well.
Oh
actually,
yeah.
it
I
went
can only
really
imagine
super well.
because it'd be a little bit sharp, right?
Yeah.
Sort of come in the top,
So,
but flank the spice.
so I'm excited to get another growler full.
Awesome. We have it. We have it for you right here.
And now
It's
that I can pour them, they
almost-
don't lose their carbonation.
Indeed. It's moved into sort of like a cider phase almost. It's kind of odd. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do. Oh, see, I was gonna say St. Brian is right there in the chat.
Look at that.
You
Is he really?
So whenever St. Brian drops in to my Twitter mentions,
I love it. I love
It's-
seeing the food. When we get tagged in the food that he makes for
Right.
these beers.
Oh yeah. That dude, St. Brian, you have to tell us about this smoked mushroom risotto thing.
Oh God, yeah, it looked amazing.
I mean that is an incredible product.
I feel like this is a back and forth because people are always like, oh, I want to try those beers. Now, we can try the beers, but then I want to try all of St. Brian's food, and we cannot do that.
Yeah, but it's in Philly,
I know, unplugged.
right? It seems like there's
Seems like there's a.
it seems like there's an unplugged scenario. We can go and try that stuff out. Oh yeah, CG, St. Brian. I sing to the grains. Yeah, I had a grains song that I was thinking of. Let's see, we had "You're My Sunshine" last time.
Mm-hmm.
What's a premium grains song?
I mean, this is your.
This is my department.
This is your territory.
It's my department. Yeah. Okay. So Whitefire, thank you very much. I think because I've got a reputation now. People are saying, "Hey, he doesn't love the grains."
Yeah. Sometimes when you don't show enough love, a lot of people get upset.
Well,
and
no.
then the grains might actually, in fact, be getting upset.
No, exactly.
Who am I to talk for the grains?
It's like a Lorax type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there has to be some kind of a grain speaker
Yeah.
scenario.
Exactly.
But I'll deliver a vocal performance for the grain soon. But we actually.
I haven't heard anything come out of your mouth yet.
So yeah. Okay. Listen. You let me fucking handle the grains.
I'm letting you handle it. You're just not coming up with stuff.
Don't support this. Okay. Now
I support the chat.
that's what it's about. It's populist, is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, so we need to decide who to make. We need to decide
beer for.
the base platform for
Or
the next beer.
should we do it like this? Should we decide a beer and then let everybody figure out who it would be for?
That might be interesting.
Like if I said let's
reverse engineer it.
Yeah, let's say I want to do. We haven't done an IPA yet.
Yeah.
We have not done an IPA. Should we let the chat decide who in this universe?
There we go, and then we
Could get-
customize it that way.
Yeah.
We have
let's
not
just flip it on the script.
We have not done, like, even though we're in the Northwest, like we have not actually approached an IPA, which is like when we go out. That's mostly what we're trying.
Yeah, that's
Like,
where we're going.
It's like the IPA, especially the Northwest IPA, is a kind of like beer fetishism.
Right.
Right. It's
Right.
It's very extreme.
Right.
And you have to approach it. It's like a challenge,
Right.
right? It's like the sort of challenge you'd find on YouTube. Thank
Exactly.
you so much for the stuff. But basically, that's the hook,
Yeah.
right? Is that we should do an IPA. Now, who are we going to do an IPA for?
That's the question. Who do you think?
Yeah, hop is definitely in the dank grass continuum.
It definitely is.
Yeah, could be Chult. That's very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's very cool. Oh, the Obviator. That's smooth.
Hop nut dank grass.
But on the rosy tip though, for Rosie, we got to bring Kate in.
Yeah.
I would feel bad
Same with walnut. We have Amy has to come
with
in
that
for
nut.
Oh, shimmer scale.
Ooh, shimmer scale. Ooh, and Fen.
Oh, Fen, that's a good one.
Oh,
Dead or Alive as the song.
tenuous light. Always thinking about the brand. I appreciate
Ooh,
that.
the Merry Widow.
Oh, the Merry Widow. Oh, Fen.
Oh,
yeah, but see,
man.
Fen. We're moving. It's all in that Team N.
Yeah. But think about
Continuum,
that. Like
right?
the Merry Widow would make sense because that's where IPAs were
Oh
born,
my gosh! And
right?
Merry Widow is such an amazing name for a beer too. Here, so let's see. Character.
Ralph the Llama. Yeah, Aviator could be a Doppelbock. That kind of sounds it sounds definitely appropriate.
Okay, so we got a couple cool choices here already. What else are we thinking about here?
Morgane's Arrowhead IPA. I like that.
Oh no, Morgane would definitely be
Morgane,
cool.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because in that scenario, right, you're talking about something that's like a tincture or an elixir,
right.
We can go as elven as we want to,
Absolutely.
especially with some herbal additions to that.
Yeah.
right.
I
I've had
think it'd be
some
great.
really nice. Obviously, we have lavender in
the Trash Witch.
Trashed Witch,
Right.
But there's definitely some other interesting ways you could go. God, maybe some late additions of rose hips or something
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Something-
Hibiscus almost. You can do a bit of hibiscus.
There we go. That's smooth. So here, let's also put in Morgane. CG, listen, I know my brand, okay?
Oh,
Ooh, Shimmer Scale is good too.
Is gonna drown himself when we whoop his ass Thursday. That's what you think.
What, for Shimmer Scale?
That's what you think, Falcone. That's what you think.
Good luck. Good luck. I know the stats.
Yeah.
Oh, the EPA IPA.
Oh, that is good.
Yes.
Chainsaw.
Yes. Oh, the Elder Brian.
The Elder
IPA.
Brain PA. You don't even have to eye it. Oh,
That's smooth
good.
as well. Yeah, but I'm so pleased to see this team and Love, though.
Right?
Either Merry Widow or Fan, they're both
Well,
winners.
that was such a fun segment to write too.
Yeah, you know
Right?
what? You know what would be cool? It was kick-ass. But they're both neck and neck. Oh, it looks like Merry Widow's running away with it, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Now, what I think would be interesting to do is how would a Documancer approach it? Like, what would the bill look like?
Right. It would
how
be systematic.
How detailed?
Yeah,
would
everything would be
would the
down to a
form,
number. Yeah.
Right?
It would be we received these grains on X and X of date from X and X of malter, and this many pounds.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it looks like Merry Widow is taking it to the hoop here.
Take it to the limit.
Oh, the Ironwood Pale Ale. S.A. Wellsbath in the channel?
What?
Thanks for rolling through, man. So, Merry Widow it is for a radical new approach
Excellent.
to the IPA. Gosh, you know what would be interesting? Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite style, although I could learn to like it.
Okay.
If it's the Merry Widow, should it be oaked?
An oaked IPA?
Yeah, I mean, if it's the
Yeah.
Merry Widow, should it have wood? Like to draw on the boat?
There's nothing saying you couldn't do it. I mean, there are some really great IPAs that have been aged in oak barrels.
There you go.
Like, there's-
I'm trying to think about chips
Yeah.
or like how we approach it
Yeah,
in terms
absolutely.
of how you get the soak in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems like a winner to me. But definitely incorporating wood into the flavor profile of a boat beer sounds pretty good.
Sounds pretty. I mean, it would have been stored in the barrels, so.
Exactly. And the IPA in general has a maritime history. So-
Right. Literally.
Right?
What do you think of that one?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's tangy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Missing the hops so much, but it's like really tangy on the front. It's got like a really fruity tang.
Yeah.
Fruity tang after an additional week of rest.
Yep.
So it's very, very different. Like I think almost at 3 weeks, it might have been timid
Yeah.
in comparison.
Right.
Like I know that is an asshole, beer dork, like sommelier tier bullshit
Yeah.
thing, but it was kind of chill.
Yeah.
Honestly, then.
Yeah.
And it was
But now
great.
there's all these flavors coming through.
No,
this
now
beer.
it has a stack. So, Jack Reichel, thank you so much. Now, Merry Widow IPA. Where do we start?
where do we
We've
start with
never
this?
built one on the show. The black, because War Priest as a black IPA has a completely different
Yeah, it's not a traditional.
purpose.
The question
Right?
is, do we want to go with a regular American IPA, or do we want is the Merry Widow a Imperial IPA?
Oh,
So we've got that choice. Imperials are going to be higher in ABV, but they're also going to be higher in IBU dramatically.
well, they have to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because basically it's just like, imagine taking an IPA and then like saying quadrant 1 enhance.
Right.
Right?
Enhance.
It's just like, oh, you like this?
Enhance.
Let's just, you
Yeah.
know, it's like maintain the ratio, but increase the size.
Yes.
Here, so that's the first. That's the first question.
one. Yeah, so you're looking at, with an American IPA, our IBUs are going to be in the 40 to 70 range. With a double IPA, or Imperial, you're going to see an IBU of 60 to 120,
Yeah.
which is, bonkersville.
well, it's Bonkersville, like beyond the human tongue.
Yeah.
Like you would need some kind of cyber tongue.
Yeah, 85 IBUs is really where the tongue reaches its limit of tasting the hop.
The capacity,
Yeah.
right?
So, if we want to make an IPA that's more flavorful, that you're going to get a lot of these great tastes from, we're going to go with just a regular American IPA. With the Imperial, that's going to be very hop forward and bitter and punch you in the face.
Big.
Yeah.
Like it's just a bigger
Right.
output.
Right.
And listen, it isn't just like It isn't like one is better than the other. Like that's not the case.
Yeah.
All we're talking about here is really an imperial IPA. These can be comical beverages.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like they can be silly.
yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, they're both. I mean, there's nothing saying we can't do both of these beers. We have we have
ultimately,
shows.
Exactly.
We have characters.
Right. No, we'll definitely get there again, but this
Yeah.
is neck and neck. This is nuts. IPA's coming out. They are showing up to get in this vote.
Well, it's such a good. I mean, it's such a right now IPAs account for
classic.
about 40% of the craft beer market.
Yeah.
And it's a very approachable beer for people that don't like beer, that are just getting into it.
Oh, indeed,
the
gentlemen.
hop flavors.
Welcome to Acquisitions Intoxicated. Take full advantage of our precious tap. Yeah. Oh, who wants the growler? Oh, S.A. Wellsbath. A growler is basically like a beer jar, like a beer jug. Do you still have yours in it?
There are two right behind you.
Yeah. Thank you. So something like this, right? So imagine a beer jar that you can collect beer into, and so it's become the norm here. Like you'll go to like a drugstore, and they'll have taps. Sir, welcome aboard.
Oh my good, thank you.
Appropriate shirt.
There you are. But that's basically it. They've
I
got
think he's looking for where the word comes from.
the
God, I don't know.
Wellsbath. If you look around, you will find that the etymology of growler is very, very ambiguous. It's not super. It is not 100% direct. I've never been able to find. I've never been able to find my way all the way through that. Sometimes people have said that it has to do with the sound, because when you pour out of a growler, out of a jug like this, the sound is odd. Hey there.
Hey.
Lovely. Thank you.
Absolutely. So they're rebuilding the warehouse down there right now. So having a beer tap up here is probably welcome, is my suspicion. But so I have heard that the term growler may have something to do with that tip out. We're running out of glassware. Here you go.
Hey,
We took some of the glassware. Actually, oh, you know what? No. Here, no.
oh no! What's doing? We have the technology. We have a flight system. Get the flight paddle out.
Oh, I
What?
got the feeling.
Here, why don't you try the custom glassware? Oh.
Jokes on that.
Clues.
No, they lost. They slept on it. Now,
Oh man.
so that's the hook. You're welcome to investigate it as well. I've never been able to find a real one there.
Yeah, I've never really looked. I've never.
I looked at it because I was
it up.
curious. I was curious for the same
Yeah.
reason. It's not conclusive right now. Now, IPA came out with it.
Wow. Okay.
So that's interesting. So we will do honestly an Imperial IPA, especially if we're still thinking about Team N.
yeah.
The Obviator, you know what I
Could be
mean?
imperial, right? Like.
Yeah, Fen, the Obviator for Team N, should be something sort of ineluctable.
Right.
Something overwhelming.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right?
Because he knows exactly how to break you down.
She.
Now, Sorry.
I'm not mad at all. So here's how we do it. Now that we know it's an IPA, now you can go hog wild.
Yeah. Oh, now
Right? This is something you are quite familiar with.
the world is our oyster at this point. And I want to introduce everybody to a new kind of base malt that we have yet to talk about. And it's called Golden Promise.
What?
Yes.
That sounds fancy.
This is a new kind of base malt. Well, not a new kind, but one that I didn't want to bring on until a little bit later because I wanted everybody to start to understand
because
the
it's a
original.
more advanced grain.
Get your advance on. It's floor malted, so it means it's spread over the floor.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what this process does is it creates.
Well, this is like in Scotch.
Yes, same exact thing.
That's that's floor malted
Yep,
as well.
and there's actually very few malters now that actually will put it right on the
traditional
floor.
way?
Do the traditional way. But
with the boots, the special booties.
Yeah, and then sweep it through, wait for it to germinate, and go from there. But what this malt does is where pale malt is just very clean and crisp. Golden Promise is clean, but it's also extremely sweet. It gives a very sweet character to this beer.
Interesting, because typically that's a choice you have to make, right?
So we have 3 options, I think, for this. Or let's go with 2 options to start.
Yeah.
It's going to be our pale malt, our 2-row, which is just going to be very clean and crisp,
Classic.
and Golden Promise. Do we want to make this a sweeter IPA? Or wait, have we decided who we're doing this for?
Oh no, this is gonna be the Merry Widow.
This is the Merry Widow. Okay. So is this going to be clean and crisp, or a little bit of sweetness on that
Right.
malt finish?
Exactly. And remember, this is just the bottom floor for this thing.
This is
because
just-
as an IPA, the hop build on it is going to be bonks.
Right.
Right?
Right. We have a lot of options.
Is this a chance for us to use Eldorado?
It could be. I think it's almost appropriate being a ship, right? Like an El Dorado, I feel.
Oh yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
This is a conversation we've been having for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
It is a bizarre, like the profile of this hop. Again, just like when we were in the woods and we had, obviously we had Velvet Cape here at the office, but in the woods we had Velvet Rope.
Yeah.
And Velvet Rope, its build, it was the same hops, but because there wasn't a Belgian yeast to sort of be present in the profile,
Right.
the spice
Really
that
came through.
cinnamon cardamom thing, that was there.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't have believed that until then. So if you're telling me that there's a tropical hop,
Yes.
I'd be like, okay,
Yeah, like,
All right.
it's tropical. It tastes like an
it's
orange.
tropical.
Yeah.
It's like, I get that to a certain extent, Citra. Like,
Right.
I know that it's possible to have sharp citrus type flavors.
Right.
But the Eldorado hop is different from just like citrus, where it's like there's a note and a complexity. This is delicious.
Yeah. Like you
Like
feel like you're
juicy.
eating a cornucopia of different kinds of fruits.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. It's like a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Or some
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
It was nuts.
So that might be a direction we go with this.
So let's throw out that malt pull there. Let's see.
But yeah, that could be, so where we want to take this next is going to be what other flavor, depending on how this goes, it looks like it's Golden Promise.
Well, yeah. So are you pleased?
Yeah, yeah.
This is your fantasy.
Yeah.
To corrupt them.
To corrupt them with
your
new
occult grains.
with new grains, new ideas. We have the technology.
Yeah. That's a whole lot of grains. Yeah. I mean, I want to try it.
Yeah.
Because I know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the grind,
Right.
getting into that step filter.
Right.
Right. I mean,
Right.
for me, like that's the first time I check out these bills.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun, when we go out and do all those tasters on a Saturday night. Now it actually has more meaning because we're really breaking down these beers.
Research.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I put that up as a joke on the TweetZor.
Yeah, but it's actually real at this point.
No, that's information that we need.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Golden Promise it is. You've
Okay.
corrupted them fully.
Thank you. Thank you, my friends.
This is very Palpatine.
Well, I thought what's cool is I want to expose everybody to some other kinds of grains that we haven't talked about yet.
Exactly.
And-
Because there's classics. I mean, most beers that you have are going to be some very particular grains. Now, is there a place in this universe? Imagine if you will.
Imagine if you will.
Oatmeal.
Like, do we want to throw some oat flakes in there?
Yeah, exactly.
We absolutely could.
Because if we're gonna, we want the hop build, like the hop portion of this profile, to be celestial. Like we want it to go up this way. We want it to be ennobling
Naturally.
to the drinker.
Yeah.
Now, it seems like that might sit real nice over the top of something that is very grounded
Right.
down here.
That's sweet.
And it's sweet, but that oat flake is going to be tough enough to stand up to the rest of that
We
stuff.
could absolutely do that. But first, let's talk about the ABV of this beer, because that's going to kind of give us a
that's
little bit
true.
of a guiding light as where we want to go.
Because how much sweetness we're pulling out of these grains, especially if you're starting with the Golden Promise. Like
Right.
you want to have this in mind right now.
Right, exactly. So a typical IPA ranges from about 5.5 to 7.5%.
Yeah.
That's typical. We don't have to stay in those ranges if we don't want to.
No, we can do what we want.
But I think that's something we should definitely discuss right off the bat. Do we want to have a more sessionable beer and go on the lower end of the spectrum around 5.5, or do we want to be on the higher end of the spectrum at, or I would say 5.5, 6.5, and then 7.5 would be the three
ranges.
choices that we could go for. Or we could just straight up say 8.
Exactly. But that's the thing. It's like you never know with this crew.
Right.
Like sometimes they choose for entertainment purposes.
Right.
Right? Sometimes they choose, but the strongest beer that we ever brewed on the show, well, I mean, technically the dark wine.
The dark wine.
Like the dark wine, once it's done, that's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
But but aside from dark wine, which is a little bit outside the range of beers, generally speaking,
Right.
it really was the guest that chose the biggest ABV. we
Exactly.
had. For them, look at
Yeah,
this.
look, this is great.
They're not asking for the crazy one.
Well, and that's
right?
but what that kind of warms my heart a little bit.
Exactly, because it means that they are on it.
Yeah.
It means that they are like handshake with us on this. There's an aesthetic goal.
Exactly.
Right? And it isn't purely about like ordnance.
Right.
Right?
Like, oh, we've got to have the highest ABV beer in the
It's not a stunt
fine.
now.
Yeah.
6.5, totally reasonable.
Yeah.
7.5, still within the style. Like none
Right.
of these are wrong.
No.
But that's not what they're after.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah. And I'm glad we don't have to make this choice. I'm glad you guys are making this choice.
No, exactly,
with us.
because we can mess with the sliders.
Yeah. We could do this all day long, but it's so fascinating to see what the collective wants to actually do.
Yeah, and also I have to say, in terms of heart warmingness, I'm glad. If when we're out on a Saturday, we're coming up with stuff, and we want to make a story that is meaningful to them and
Right.
that they remember.
Right.
But when we came up with this boat and the weirdos
The hole in the floor and like everybody's.
they remembered it.
Yeah.
Like they remembered it. And not only do they remember it, they want to honor it.
Yeah.
Like that really, really does it for me. Now,
Okay.
so we're talking about 5.5. We're not going crazy.
Okay, I dig that. So let's talk about additional grains that we can put into here.
Exactly. Now the oat flake, I feel like that's not going to be a significant portion of the sugars.
No.
That's something we add for mouthfeel.
Absolutely. What we can do is let's talk about color too. Now, do we want this to be?
Hold on.
Oop, yep. Oh.
It's been a problem in the past. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? Oh, na 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 na. All right, we're good. Now we're right back in.
We're good.
Like that was
it?
an interlude, and now we're back on it.
Right.
We're back on it.
Right.
Please continue. Sometimes I sing to some grains.
Do you need more alone time?
No, listen. I'll take it whenever I need it. I'm just saying it had to happen. I get verbally abused if I don't.
I know you get
provide
you get
sufficient-
berated.
Even
by,
Mike. Even Mike gives me shit about not singing to these grains. I may have to sing to them twice in this show just to make up for previous. Well, and also we've already established what it adds, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Head retention,
retention.
creamy mouthfeel. That's it. It's recognized. Like
Yeah.
it's just about that affection, and then the grains are like, you know what? This is a collaborator.
Yeah.
We can work with this guy.
We want to be near this fellow, as they say.
This gent.
Josh, can you bring up the Beersmith cam?
Dealio.
Yes. So let's talk about the color of this beer.
Yeah, that's true. Because
This is going to determine a lot too.
That does tend to exist in a certain range for IPAs.
Yeah, I mean, you can go very much a pale on the pale end of the spectrum at 6 on the SRM scale.
Yeah.
Or make it more golden and amber. And that's, what I always associate with an IPA, but there is the range. So let's take a look. You guys can see the glass here. I'll show you the different variations on the scale. This is right around 5. that color is going to be right at about 8.4
Oh, on the SRM?
on the SRM scale.
Yeah.
We're going to go up another notch. That's going to be around 11.5. That's a little more of that deep amber.
Yeah, that is very appealing.
Now let's hit it one more time. This is the far end of the spectrum for an IPA, and this is really that deep golden amber color. So that's what we kind of want to figure out. Do we want it to be this on this end of the spectrum, or do we want it to be maybe a little lighter and a little paler? And how do we look at that if it's going to be the Merry Widow? Right,
Yeah.
it's a ship. It's an oak ship. It's wooden.
Yeah, I feel like you're moving more into that. I feel like you're moving more into that golden continuum.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. But also, it's like now I have to think about the paddle.
Yeah.
Because of clues.
Because of clues, that
I
paddle
have
is
to think
amazing.
about the paddle. Like in my mind, it's like making a mixtape,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, okay, so over here we've got War Priest, right? And then we've got Velvet Rope.
Yep.
You know, we're like I can see the range of colors
Right.
in that setup.
Well, what's-
actually, no. It would be. God, where would it start? Probably start War Priest, and then it would go to Trash Twitch.
Yep.
Then War Priest, then then Velvet Rope.
Yeah.
Then we move into one of our lighter ones, like
Right.
either Barley or this Merry Widow.
Or the Goza.
We don't know. I
Yeah.
have no idea what color that is going to be.
I can't wait to
when it comes out.
Tomorrow is the day we're going to unload the Goza.
You're going to transfer?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay,
Turns
so we're
out
gonna do
richer.
richer. Okay.
So we're good on that.
Now let's talk about flavor profile. What do we want as the flavor profile? We know we want. You want to talk a little bit about oats, and we want to have that.
I mean,
feeling?
I have never actually brewed with oats. It's just like, you know how you're always pushing your occult grains on people, and it's like I have the same thing. Like I've always wanted to brew with oats, but I've never actually had a chance to do it.
Yeah, we can absolutely put some oats in here.
Yeah. It's like, but it's like, is that going to detract from the fruit paradise that we're trying to stack on top of
What
it?
it's really going to do is give us a little bit better head retention. It does
Yeah,
a
I
lot
guess
what
that's
Crystal's
true.
going to do.
It's just the platform.
It adds body
Yeah.
and mouthfeel.
Like singing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we could put oats in there. So it's going to give a little bit of that oat flavor, so we don't have to put much in.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is where we say, okay, instead of, do we want to make this a more biscuity flavor or a toasted flavor, or do we want to have this taste more like an oaty flavor?
Yeah, exactly.
Which could pair well if we put this in a barrel. Think about it that way.
Yeah, I
if
guess
we
that's
age it
true.
in an oak
Like
barrel.
those two things would be consonant.
Yep.
Right? That's sort of that mineral nature. Okay, so we're talking about oat is the classic, and then what's competing with oat in this continuum?
We would do, let's see. Ooh. We haven't done Victory in a while.
Are you tantalized?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more about Victory. A couple adjectives.
Victory
Or are you
is-
still looking?
Victory is going to be, I'm just going down the list real quick to, roasted barley. That's going to be very black.
Yeah, the
Oh.
color's too crazy. We want this to look right on the paddle. Think about the paddle.
I'm looking at the rye.
Oh, okay. Now rye is another fantasy grain in my roster.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's say, do we want this to taste more like oats, or do we want to put some rye in this?
No, tell them what rye means in this, because honestly, like, these are related choices. You wouldn't want to do both,
No, we're going to do one or the other.
but tell them what rye means in a brew.
Rye is going to make this. It's going to give that rye malt taste.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's gonna make it.
It's kind of a sharp.
Yes,
Note.
it makes it drier and crisper than what your oats are going to do. Your oats are going to give you a little more mouth feel, whereas the rye is going to make it very dry. But both of them are going to have an effect on taste.
No, but also just the general experience.
Right. Because with rye,
drinking it.
yeah, with rye, it's going to bring out not only that dry crispness of it, but it's going to bring out the golden promise, that sweetness too. they're
that's
going
right.
to play
Well,
off. each
they'll
other.
be in concert down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's both of these are really, really great choices.
Yeah, honestly, like there's no loser for me here.
No.
Like
I
these are both winners. Now, but you've had problems brewing with rye at home, right?
Not at home. I've had problems brewing it, not problems per se, but
Like-
at my friend's distillery when we would
Oh.
make rye whiskey, rye when you use it, it gets very sticky.
Gluey, right?
Yeah, and it can clog up the lines.
Okay.
So
We should be okay here. We might want to replace our filter in that case.
No.
Okay. A rye IPA it is.
yeah, yes, Jim. Oats would affect the mouthfeel more than the taste.
Yeah. Because it's going to have that astringent quality, right, of
Yep.
the oat.
Yep. Okay, so
Okay.
we'll put a little
So
bit of
rye in
rye
there.
in this puppy.
Remember when Rubens was
God.
obsessed with rye there for a
I
while?
was so
They had
happy.
like 20 rye beers on there. Mm-hmm. Something happened to my glass.
Yeah, it evaporated.
There
really
might be a hole in
quickly.
it. Here, I'm gonna just test it. It's very scientific here on Acquisitions Intoxicated. Yeah. That'll do. That'll do in a pinch.
That'll do.
We should have brought the dark wine out, but it's a little young.
It's a little young, but it tastes absolutely fantastic.
You know what though? I think that because you were thinking that Trash Twitch might need a bunch more time, and obviously we'll check it with the hydrometer. But I think it might be ready before then. It might just be a living document.
Yeah.
You know, it might
Yeah,
just
well,
exist.
essentially what we'll do throughout the next month is start to taste it and see where we're at.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
when we like it.
Now, you'll be very pleased by this, Channel. So, what is the device that you use to get a sample of it from the carboy called?
So it's a thief. You get a thief, is what it's called.
It's called a thief. A plus.
A plus, grade A material. All right, so I think this is a great little malt build we have here. We have our Golden Promise.
Yeah, beautiful color.
Beautiful
Solid
color,
head.
rye, and a little bit of crystal in there to really give us some good head retention. So now we need to talk about
Hop, hop.
hops. And what do we want to do for hops?
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, the case that I'm gonna make for El Dorado is that it tastes like candy.
It really tastes like a glass of Fruity Pebbles.
It tastes like juice,
Yeah.
like in a weird way. Like no matter what else is happening, you're just like, oh, some fruit.
Yeah. Why don't we go there?
It's Bonkersville. So fruit. So for the tasting note, I'm gonna say it's Fruit Fest 2017.
Naturally.
Now, up on top of that substantial, vigorous grain base. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. On top of that scenario, where else could we go? Obviously, we can go with this crazy fruit. We can go like max dank.
Yeah. Well, here's the question. Do we want to use this as a single hop or do we want to do multiple hops throughout this?
I have to be honest with you, like that's outside my ken. Like, in terms of coffee, like I tend to do single origin, like I very rarely do any blends.
Okay.
You tell me where that would go.
So let's take a look at.
Oh, because that's gonna determine what you're choosing as your big hop in there, right? Because like if you went with Galaxy,
Yep.
which is a great hop by itself,
Yeah,
it's
you're
a
just
total
not-
F fest.
If you mix it,
Right.
It's not the best. Let me see what we got. If we want to do El Dorado, I say we do a single hopped El Dorado.
Exactly. So that it's just basically we make this decision once, and then it's like second start of the right on till morning.
Yep.
Still pouring?
Still
absolutely.
pouring.
Moff Faylar.
What do you got here?
Welcome to the bridge. This is Red Larch Regular, but with another week or so of conditioning.
Conditioning?
Yeah. So after it's all done and it's tanked,
Yeah.
it's still figuring itself out. It's still doing inside growing.
Okay.
as Mr. Rogers would say.
So cardio,
Yeah, exactly.
self-strength training.
Hot yoga.
Okay. Cool. Hey, cheers.
Oh,
Cheers.
sir.
Okay.
All right. So El Dorado, Juice Fest.
If we don't go with a single hop, the other one I would say we could touch base with, and we haven't really used much of, is Centennial.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is a classic hop.
Yeah, yeah, there's
that
nothing wrong
that
with
we
it.
haven't used in any of the brews yet. And let's talk about this. This will be our bittering hop, and it's going to give us some floral, citrus, and a little bit of spice. But we'll add other hops at the back end that'll give us some more flavor
And
and
aroma.
aroma.
Yeah, we'll build the rest of the profile for the Centennial up here.
Mm-hmm.
So take a look at that.
Yeah, so what you want to be thinking about with this is if we go with number one, it's going to be a straight shot Fruit Fest 2017 all the way through.
Yeah, on top of that tasty grain base that we generated.
Oh, yeah, El Dorado's absolutely fantastic.
It's legendary. Like I'd never. It was just up the road there. I've never had anything. I've never had that presence, and it's not like I don't know. I mean, I've had a beer or two.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I'm familiar with the form,
Yeah.
but I've never had anything like that.
Yep.
Where it's like you take a sip of it and then you just like think about it for a little while.
Yeah, you just have you just figure out like what is going on in this glass. So those are our two kind of real choices right now.
I'll let that run for a little bit.
Yeah, I would. It's pretty close.
El Dorado Fruit Fest 2017.
2017.
Get your tickets.
It's happening soon.
Be there.
And I think, if El Dorado does win out, I'll be interested to see how it pairs with the rye.
Yeah.
Because the beer we had was very light in flavor.
Exactly. It's going to be sharp.
Yeah.
There's going to be this sharp, like right underneath the rest of it. There's going to be this presence.
Yeah. You want
A dark presence.
a dark presence.
And there you are.
Thank you, sir.
It's so fun to see the names up on the Pico. All right.
Ooh, it looks like El Dorado's
No,
running
El
off
Dorado,
with this.
El Dorado ran away with it, which
Okay.
is 100% fine. Yeah, it's a Nidhogger, the net serpent. Whew. Yeah, honestly, name-wise, I mean, I feel like Merry Widow is a pretty good name for an IPA.
Now, let's talk about our IBUs.
Oh, in terms of the range.
How bitter do we want it?
Right.
So, do we want this to be, on tip of the tongue bittering, or do we
Right.
want this to be low bitter but high in aroma?
Okay.
Ooh, Pale Rider, that's a good one. That's a really good one. We will do a pale rye ale sometime, and we are using that.
Something like that. It's basically between lower bittering and higher aroma.
Yeah.
And then also
So-
just sort of like that IPA style that's big right now.
Is it going to be extremely bitter on the taste,
Yeah.
which is very big right now, or do we want it to be low on the tongue bitterness but high on the florals and the aroma? Mare Rye Widow. There you go.
All right, let's get this, because this is basically going to determine our hop volume, right?
Exactly.
How much is in that first cage?
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh, interesting. It's back and forth.
They're wrestling.
Yeah. I love seeing this part.
Oh man, yeah. So and they've expressed that in the past, is that they're not interested in this stunt.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think, well, what's fun to see is after so many episodes that we've done, everybody's actually, it feels like the chat is actually really thinking about the creation of this
Exactly.
beer.
No, it's gotten very curatorial, I would say. Oh man, this build smells so good.
Yeah. And oddly enough, not foaming.
No, zero foam.
Zero foam.
I think that, because you may recall last week's foam venture,
Yes.
where I turned to find that Chris Straub was completely dressed in soaked towels. Honestly, I think it significantly affected the volume that's in the keg.
We'll find out.
Because when I carry that keg around, it is very light.
Lighter?
It's very light. And then also the wisdom from the channel last time, I did wring out one of the towels into a cup and drink it. So gross. Definitely don't wring towels out into cups and drink them.
No, not the best way to have beer.
No. But I think it was the acidulated malts. I think it was
It was the acidulated
Goza
malt that led to that. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
It got weird.
It got a little crazy.
Yeah.
Got a little crazy.
All right, looks like lower bitter, higher aroma is the Centennial
I like it.
that we're going with.
Okay. So let's bring these IBUs down a little. Oh, cancel that. No.
Let it rest.
Okay, add hops. We'll do another shot of El Dorado. El Dorado. At 5 minutes.
Oh, man. Because that's it. I mean, that addition there, that's so much of the experience.
Yeah.
Like when you raise the glass, like that's what that addition is for.
And what we can do is add one last addition of it right at flame
This
out.
is the flame out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we mean by flame out is when the boil is actually completely done. You just add a small addition of hops into the wort.
Yeah.
And it's all aroma on your nose.
We definitely want to do that.
Yeah.
Like basically just to honor the rest of the decisions that we put together, right?
Let's make this 10 minutes.
Okay.
And add hops.
Sounds good. Now, while you're typing that stuff in there, consider this channel. What are we looking for name-wise? I think that we can get away with Merry Widow as a name for this, and they wouldn't even be getting away with it. I think that Merry Widow is an awesome name for a beer, but start throwing your names out in the channel. Merry Widow, a classic.
That's a good one.
Merry Widow Rye PA. I like that too. That gets in there. Few good variants on that. Widow's Kiss, very classic. Bilge Water.
Nice.
I like this. Rye of the Ancient Mariner. CG, you nerd. Hoppy Widow, like that. Rise and Shine. Ride Sky at Night. Man, this is premium. Rye of the Storm.
Oh, that's good. Was it Rye of the Beholder?
Rye your boat. Ooh, Keelhaul's very good too.
Oh, that is good.
It's true. It's true, Nemi Rules. Rye not a long rest. Servants of the Rye. Rye hole?
I'm going in Rye.
Helm's Deep. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right by where we were.
Rider on the Storm. Oh, God.
I like it.
Wave Winona Rider.
Rye not. Wave Rider. I like it. Word Jail.
Rye off the boat. When, where, rye?
Rollicking rye, very tasteful.
Rye, see what you did there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing the rye. Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Rye, your boat.
Mm-hmm.
Ride to El Dorado.
Let's see. Princess Ride. Ryan Gosling. Oh, hey, Sledget, we're talking about the Merry Widow, which is the vessel that that Team N travels on, that was repaired, that they were able to take on an adventure. Still horse I ride, want it, dead or alive. Yeah, I'm putting Keelhaul in too.
That's good.
One more. Widow's Wake. That's very good. All right, try one of those. I'll cut it down to the top. Dead or a rye. Do the right thing.
Oh, man.
Oh, here, is that... Sorry, Sahiko Jones. I did wrong. Wow, yeah. Dead or alive. Man, do you remember when that was added to Rock Band? And it was just like 24/7?
Every time you played
everybody's
it.
Everybody just
like
fucking rolls in.
like when everybody's drinking too, it's like, you know, you play it over and over and over and it happens. It's a thing. I'm not even upset about it.
No, the best part about that game was figuring out like which of your friends could sing.
Yeah.
Like it turns out that Faye can actually sing very well.
No.
But only the song Californication.
that's his whole roster?
Yeah, that's it. Like, but it's like 100%.
You give him a Mac the Knife and just not the same.
No,
right?
no, it goes to hell.
Yeah.
All right, here, so we're gonna do Merry Widow,
Okay.
Rye of the Storm, and Widow's Wake.
Rye of the Storm, that's great. Yes, Ace of Spades definitely hurt a lot of throats.
Okay. Take it away.
Take it away.
Precious Channel.
Ooh, Widow's Wake. That's cool.
It's because it works.
it's
It
the
works
way,
two ways,
yeah.
right? It's like two ways.
Yeah. God, they're all really good.
No, Rye of the Storm. Obviously, I support it 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I think Rye of the Storm is going to win.
Yeah, wow, look at that.
So this time, we'll actually have the extra time to figure out who we're going to do next week.
Yes.
And then if we do that, that'll be great because we can spend the week sort of thinking about some basic ideas. Man.
Whoa, Widow's Wake is pulling up.
Widow's Wake got a bump.
Oh, this is great. I don't know, they're both great names.
Well, yeah, it's like anytime you think about one of them, right, you're thinking, you're looking at the label.
Yeah.
There isn't even a label.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be very clear. There's no label. But
There will be one.
You think about it.
Yeah. I really just want like
just
a
spooky.
a coffin on Widow's Wake, right?
Exactly. Just ladle it out of a coffin. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or put the tap at the base, at the foot of the coffin.
It's just popping out of the head. Oh, that's like out of the Scary Stories books. That's like one of those pictures.
Upper Dog wants to know if this is technically an Indian sail ale, which gets you a one-way ticket to Word Jail.
Boosh!
Word Jail. But that's where I am as well, so we can hang out.
Chat will make a label. I like that. If chat could make the label, that'd be awesome.
It definitely does. It definitely does happen. Now, Widow's Wake it is, my friend.
Widow's Wake. Okay.
That's a super cool
We've got
name.
one more poll. Yeast.
Oh, yeast.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let's talk about yeast. So there's two yeasts I'm going to propose for this one. First is the traditional American ale. This is going to be smooth, clean, and crisp.
which works with the rest of the fruits and grains.
Yep. Now the other one,
Satan's yeast.
Satan's yeast.
Demon
It's
yeast.
actually a Northwest ale yeast. They made
Oh.
a strain for the Northwest.
Tell me more.
This is going to give us a slightly fruity flavor,
Is that
and
so?
it's going to bring out the malt a little more.
Oh man, you can't lose.
No, they're both great. One's going to be very crisp. One's going to be a little more fruity and bring out the maltiness that we've chosen.
Yeah. Oh man, Northwest Ale coming out the gate.
Strong, coming out the gate, coming out the gate, coming out the gate. We have American ales coming back up, coming back up, coming back up.
I don't
but
know.
No.
I don't know if it is.
I don't know. Yeah, oh shit!
I think American ales
it got
been crucified.
slammed into the sidewall of the racetrack. Holy.
Whatever race appropriate term
Yeah.
describes this, imagine that's the one that I used. You know, like that's what we're going for. Whew. No, Northwest Ale. So they pulled one out. So there's a strain
Yeah.
specifically to support the Northwest IPA style.
Yeah.
So it's there
Because
to be
we do
to be
nothing
cool,
else.
To be
We do-
cool with hops.
Yeah.
Right?
We do nothing else in the Northwest besides make IPAs because that's apparently it. But you, chat, help us make typically not IPAs.
Well, no. And even the IPA that they put together is not a typical IPA.
Oh.
Oh, that's going to be marvelous.
Yep.
I can't wait for that.
And that is the beer.
That's going to be good stuff. Now, next week, let's see.
Yeah, let's talk about what we want to do.
So we kind of went sideways here with the horse and now with a boat. And they like to do places.
And things.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're going to go for Glowman.
What did we call
Like, where are we
this
going to go next? Velvet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do?
Tipsy. We haven't done a tipsy beer yet.
Tipsy? Oh, the beer robot. That's classic.
Legati. Go, man. Airship Ale. That's fun.
Oh, the airship.
Yeah.
That's a very good idea. The airship.
Onyx.
Oh, airship and onyx. Yeah, those are both good. Shadow Realm.
That's a good. The corporate brew. What's the home office brew?
That would be a.
That
would have
would
to be
Omin's
yeah,
choosing,
exactly.
right?
Like exactly. So there's going to be a lot of business practicalities that come into that. That would be like a Pils or something like that, right? Here. So let's put in the airship and the.
Oh, the Mendes Ale.
Oh. Chippy, nice. The Myconid, yeah. There's definitely something cool there. It'd be like the meld ale. Let's see, Myconid, yeah, the corporate, yeah.
What did we name this beer? The
Widow's Wake?
Widow's Wake. Yeah, that's what it was. Widow's Wake.
Let's see. Yeah, we could do walnut,
We could.
but walnut, yeah, that's it, Tenuous. We'd have to work it out with her ahead of time.
Yeah.
Let's talk with her this week after the show and see if she can roll through,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
The airship steam beer. We could do that. Jeff, no magic. Yeah.
Agreed. Well, here. You know what we'll do walnut. No. We'll do walnut, and then we'll ask if she can't come in. We'll set the date,
Right.
right? Because when we were out the other night, she was having a porter.
Yeah. Yeah, Ralph, I think walnut might be a strawberry wit.
There you go. Something like that.
We have talked to Chris Perkins. He is going to come in at some time, and we're going to do a DM's beer.
Oh, totally.
But we're going to make it an actual, we're going to do it as a cider.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Chris likes ciders, so,
Well, no,
so
exactly.
we'll be
I
doing
was
it
going
as
to
a
say,
cider.
you'd set that up so it's all curveballs, right? It's like even the base construct
Yep.
isn't a beer.
Oh, and yeah, and we're gonna gamify.
We'll have a
little.
DM screen.
Yeah.
Yep. So like I say, we'll talk to Amy. We'll see if we can roll her in. If not, we'll just set the date, and then whatever the second one is, we'll do that
do.
instead.
I like the thought of doing a corporate headquarters beer.
Exactly. Like I'm always trying lagers and pilsners, trying to figure out the profile. I feel like the channel could bring something to those styles.
I agree.
Was a little bit more novel.
Yeah, well, we would think about it in a very streamlined way. Like this is a pilsner, but then you give the choices to the chat, and they're gonna
They'll find something.
they're gonna find a way to play with it.
They'll find something novel in there. Well, I'm just gonna stop that. We know who's coming out on this. That's that nut. So we'll figure that out. Hey, do you want to hit some of these questions?
Yeah, let's get some of these questions. One of the first questions, why would you barrel age an IPA? The hops would drop out over time. Really good question and a very good point. The hops would drop out, but when we barrel age this IPA, we're not doing it for long. It's going to be probably maybe a week just to get a little bit of that oaky flavor onto
exactly.
it.
In the same way that, it's like you're going to dry hop something and then you remove that addition.
Yep.
This is just to add a note.
Yep.
It's not going to be stored long term.
Nope.
Because none of our beers last very long.
No.
Let's be very clear. That last keg of Red Larch was done before the end of the day.
Before the end of the day, it was gone.
Right?
But we're not going to be aging this for months on time with the IPA. It's just going to be a very quick, the last week of secondary fermentation, and then we'll put it right into the keg. Yes. Doesn't oak add a creamy texture, or oat add a creamy texture? Absolutely. Jerry, could you sing Camptown Races to the Grains for the Horse?
All right. All right, you got the grain cam? All right. Camptown Races, sing this song.
Enthusiasm.
Doodah.
Enthusiasm,
Doodah.
Jerry. Come on.
Camptown Races, sing this song. Oh, doodah day. Now, hold on. Now I'm worried that I've shamed the grains.
Yeah, you got to.
Are you grain shaming?
I'm grain shaming. I should have approached that in a totally different way. And I want
some
to.
pep in it?
Yeah. See, I was just gonna say, photos ruined. You fucked it. You fucked it up. No, I listen. Is the Bon Jovi what's required? All right, here. Actually,
Yeah.
I think that Bon Jovi may be the only thing that can repair.
That can really save
Well, it can
the
repair
damage that has been done.
the relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, we're living on a prayer right now.
Well, no, I mean that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, we're halfway there.
Whoa!
Living on a prayer. Take my hand and we'll make it, I swear.
Whoa!
Living on a prayer. Living on a prayer. All right, now we're good.
Okay.
Now, keep on.
How'd you like the old-fashioned mix? We just got the old-fashioned mix. Our friend, who was,
Oh, the Wisco.
yeah.
Yeah. It's back there. It's back there in Alyssa's treasure
Trove of stuff.
which has amassed quite a few additions thanks to the channel. I'm very glad.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that you enjoy it to the extent that you're going to heap riches on us. Please maintain this policy.
This is a question, Epic Photon. It's a great question, and I approve of this. When does Little Clues get a brew of her own? Clues Brews.
Oh yeah, Clues, Brews, Little Brews. I mean, listen, it's built in.
There's a scenario here where we
built
could
in.
do, with all that Clues has done, I feel like we could
We will
give her.
That's a
honor
great
her,
idea.
yeah.
So we'll just call that one. We'll
Clues
say, hey,
Brews.
today we're making the Clues outing.
Yeah.
Make something totally custom, put it in a tank, hand it over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say this is the Clues Brews.
You've got to. We're talking about like just all the different Ack Inc. stuff. Just so much love. It's insane.
Between the C team, I mean, every week there's something new from for the C team.
Yeah.
I mean, laser etched cookies.
Yeah, which is a totally new form
Yeah.
of currency, in my estimation.
So I think Clues Brews, we should definitely give her a brew.
Easy to do.
So
Easy
Clues,
to do.
start thinking of a beer you'd want, and we'll ask you next time in chat.
Yeah. Hey, it doesn't have to be a beer.
Yeah.
It can be a mead.
It could be a mead. It could be a mixed cocktail. We can do
Cider.
all of these things.
We can take it to the hoop.
Push it to the limit. Jerry, are you concerned about the lathe of heaven scenario where the things you dream become real in the world because your dream pub seems to be forming one glass at a time?
Well, yeah. I mean, eventually the things that I want to do happen. It's just a matter of time. I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need something to do. I'm gonna need a new hobby at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
The problem is we're going to drink our hobby away.
Well, no, it's very dangerous. Like we have to have someone else in there to say no constantly.
Yeah. We
No.
need, yeah, no.
Every-
Yeah, we'd actually hire somebody,
We would hire a no person.
a no man.
Yeah.
Are there such things as dessert beers like dessert wines? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There are some beers that I find like improper in terms of their sweetness.
Yeah.
Like to drink in the way that you would drink a beer.
Think about a framboise, right? It's very fruity.
Oh, yeah.
It's thick.
It's made from juice.
Juice. I mean, for me, that's a classic beer style that I would have with, a cake or some kind
Exactly,
of dessert.
but there are actually stouts and porters.
Oh, absolutely.
That are like to syrup. Like for me, it's like there's a bunch of different profiles, but ultimately, if I drink a beer, I want to be semi-refreshed.
Yeah.
There's some beers that are just like drinking liquid cement.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's in that sort of dessert context. And there's some very dark. There are some like vanilla stouts.
Right.
That-
or milk stouts. Milk
Exactly, with the
stouts.
lactic acids in there as well. Like the whole thing just says, take a nap after you drink this.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You take a milk stout with lactose in it, and just the sweetness pours through. So you mix that with any kind of cake or cookie, laser etched cookies.
Yeah, exactly. But no,
really
absolutely,
gonna
there are
pair well.
absolutely beers that make sense and could be used in a dessert
setting.
context as a pairing type thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. This is a good question. Follow up. Maybe we could use staves or oak chips then. Absolutely, you can use staves and oak chips if you want. It's the cheaper option of then having a barrel. What you would do is you would just take these oak chips and throw them right into the fermenter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep. So
A stave is just like a rod.
Yeah, it looks like a corkscrew almost.
Oh, it's
but
a
it's made
coil.
out of oak. Yeah, it's a coil.
Oh, so it's about surface area.
And you just drop it right in, and there you go. You get that oaky flavor. So you have your options. It's whatever you want to go with.
Yeah. But you would actually purchase a barrel
Oh yeah, I got tons of them.
to explore this context. So
Yep. Are we doing natural carbonation with priming sugars or adding carbonation via the keg system? Right now, we're using artificial carbonation with the kegging system.
Yeah.
It allows us to do it quicker, easier, and get it prepped for the show.
Yeah.
You can carbonate in as little as a day with artificial carbonation, typically 3 days. If you want to go a little longer on the lower scale, make
Yeah.
it smoother, it's about 8 days. But right now, we're doing the artificial carbonation. There is, when you first start out, you use priming sugar, and we can show you that in one of these episodes on how to do that.
we can show the rest of the process.
Yeah, is basically just adding priming sugar to your batch of finished wort of beer,
And then you seal it.
and then you seal it, and it primes right in your bottles.
Well, here, so do 2 more, and then
Okay.
we'll run back to Art Stream.
Yeah, Punk Jr. Is the rye prominent enough to warrant being part of the name? Actually, it is. Right now, the rye that we have in this beer is 20% of the malt build.
Yeah. And,
So that-
and given the nature of the rye, where the rest of these are designed to, they're going to be present, you'll sort of know their provenance.
Right.
Rye is, what the fuck's going on? I'm rye.
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm here to party.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So even at 20% of the bill, you'll know, in the same way that like you'll add a small amount of roasted malts and then here comes this crazy color.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you do not need to add too much rye. It doesn't have to be 50% of the grain bill.
And you might not want to,
No. Exactly.
for other reasons.
Yeah, for
So yeah, so grab one more that you think is festive.
Got a
yes.
little time, Jerry.
Oh, I do?
Mike's not back yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right, let's
we'll
hammer it
just
up.
keep going.
Here's a good one. Is there a Pacific Northwest beer that exemplifies the proper use of the El Dorado hops?
It's not, El Dorado is not common.
It's not commonly used. I have only seen it in a couple beers.
And they tend to be from, local places,
Yeah.
like holes in the wall. It's somebody who has, a hop fantasy,
Yep.
right? That's where we saw it,
Yeah.
over at Black Raven.
Yep.
Like somebody wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And they made a great beer with it.
Yeah.
And it inspired us to try to put something like that together.
Yeah, and I think what the chat came up with the rye and the sweet golden promise is really gonna just take that
and
flavor.
It's our first real IPA too.
Yeah.
And because it's one of
It's
my
a
favorite
IPA.
styles. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. So does the sweetness mellow out the hop, or can you have both profiles in a beer?
Definitely.
You can absolutely have both profiles in a beer. You can have sweet and hoppy.
For one of the more novel presentations of that, if you ever have a chance to try Hair of the Dogs, so you probably aren't super familiar with this brewery because they're
No.
very much, it's an Oregon spot, and I don't know how far their beer travels, but they have an IPA called Blue Dot that is massive malt sweetness
Interesting.
and somehow set against this hop bomb, and they're both there and they work together. But it's an expert. That's New Game Plus. Like that's hard mode.
Yeah, yeah. Here's one. If you do a beer for a non-walnut elf, can we call it Turn It Up to Elven? Can we? Perhaps for an elven bard? Thank you, Whitefire. Thank you.
Nerds. Thanks for the subs, by the way.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So grab a couple more of those, and then I might try to eat
Yeah.
a cup of soup real quick before the
Is
creative stream.
Doldrama named for the doldrums as in the area on the ocean with unpredictable light winds?
Doldruma is named for doldrums. Yes, absolutely.
Is there any spoilerly info about the origins of the Merry Widow you can give us?
The word is spoilerian.
Spoilerian?
No, but I would be happy to do. I'd be happy to write a piece
Yeah.
about
We
the
could
Merry Widow.
we could do a backstory of the Merry Widow.
Exactly, like who owned it, when, like do it up like a Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
type thing.
How did the end team come across?
Well,
this
exactly,
ship?
and like the different names it might have had previously.
Right.
Like, I'll investigate that.
Yeah.
Like, I mostly thought of it as a place for these other characters that we had made to sail around.
Right.
I hadn't given too much thought to her history itself, but
Yeah.
we can fix that.
This could be a thing. This is me. I humbly said.
Got some juice on there.
Yeah.
Something flavorful.
With everybody bringing in growlers, are we going to have to start brewing more beer? I think the answer to that one is
Yeah. We might need to exaggerate our system here a little bit.
Okay, so this is an interesting question. Is it better to bottle a beer or put it into a keg? For me, I don't think it's a question.
Depends on the purpose, too.
Yeah. That
It's
it's
easier to give a
to
person.
keg.
It's easier to keg.
It's easier to keg.
Yeah, but it's easier to give a person a bottle.
Right.
right?
Right. I mean, I could
really-
just hand you the keg and see what you do with it.
Exactly. I think it really depends on the purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and we're both coffee roasters as well. You know, for us, it's like a big part of getting into these hobbies is sharing them.
Yeah.
And so it really depends on how you can do it. If it's a situation where you're going to a party, or you're going to go out in the woods and dress up a certain way and say "my lord" a lot, that might
who does that?
That might be a keg scenario. I'm just saying, you know.
Does it have any effect on the flavor or anything?
No, it won't have any effect on the flavor. What you will find, though, is it's easier for your bottles to get hit with light, which could affect the flavor. So you want to keep your bottles in a dark spot.
Yeah.
Or make sure you're using brown bottles and not the green ones.
Indeed, like the Heineken bottle. Avoid it.
Don't do it.
Avoid it.
Don't go. Here's one. If we do a drink for Brahma, could it be a strawberry framboise?
Yeah, I mean, I have never made a
Brahma
lambic.
Bois.
Yeah, oh yeah, no. There's definitely some strong Brahma. Yeah, if we put Brahma up there, the Brahma beer is gonna get voted on. So we should have it. We should have it in our heads. Maybe next week we'll put up the vote. We should have a couple of concepts in our heads so that we're ready to approach that.
Right.
Right. But I'd love to do a lambic.
Dwab, 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 dwab.
You dropping it up?
I'm interested in tasting that.
Oh, absolutely.
still a thing.
Yeah, of course, dog. Here you go. So this is the Red Larch regular, but with another week of rest.
All right.
So give that a try. So go ahead and hit up a couple more of those. We'll get some notes from Dwab, and then we'll take it to the hoop.
Is Cthulhu going to get neat rituals to copy into his book of ancient secrets? He has the best ritual feature in the game, but
Agreed.
only 2 in his book still.
Yeah. No, in fact, he was talking to us about this exact thing last week. He was saying that that he wished that he had taken more advantage of that. So my suspicion is that is very much on his
I
radar.
had to dethrone Whitefire.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank
Nice,
you,
Rip.
Thank you, Rip.
Here's a good question. What's your favorite style? What are each of our favorite styles of beers?
I mean, I just unashamedly IPA,
Yeah.
which is funny because we haven't. It's like I've purposefully tried to steer the show away
Right.
from that so we could explore other styles.
Right.
Like I have never once even had a Goza. Like I know about it. I know about the style like from a technical perspective, but I've never even had one.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like the Tuesday afternoon stream in general, like for the board games. Like
Right.
it's an opportunity to get out of my comfort zone a
Right.
little bit.
Well, it's like Saturday when we were debating going to the Hop Fest, extravaganza.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well, we could go to this Hop Fest and have 20 different IPAs, or could we go to these other different breweries and then sample all the different
Exactly.
kinds?
Like I know that I like it.
Yeah.
Right?
And for me, I'm the same way. IPAs are still my favorite, but Scotch ales are the biggest runner-up.
Oh, really?
I love Scotch ales.
You like the
I love the malt
presence?
build. I love
Yeah.
the way they taste. I love the mouthfeel. ESBs are also another really
Really?
great. Yeah, we haven't done an ESB yet, but
Another
we
British
will.
style.
Yeah, a bittered beer.
Mm-hmm.
So we might be able to bring that up and use
down.
it
I'm
somewheres.
down. So grab a couple more and then I'm gonna jump back.
Could Cthulhu dual class into Opulent?
Oh. Into the occultant. Yeah, but occultant is a
Oh, the
role.
occultant, yeah.
Occultant is a role like loremonger, hordes person. So it's not a class. He doesn't even have to dual class to get it.
Right. How do they make pumpkin spice beer #gross from Epic Photon?
It usually is gross.
It usually is gross because a lot of the times they'll use mulling spices and a lot of different spices that they just throw in instead of, you can actually take pumpkin seed, roast the pumpkin seed, and use that instead.
Exactly. So what happens a lot of times is that they'll get there with specific additions of, generally speaking, not a lot of pumpkin.
No.
Like they don't actually use it.
No.
There's sugars in there, not a lot, but they can definitely impart something to the beer. I think the pumpkin additions are especially good in dark beers. But what happens, generally speaking, is they'll use mulling spices or just like nutmeg.
Yeah.
And unlike the kind of spicing that you get from hops,
Right.
if you use like the literal spice in there, it just builds on the tongue. Like
Yeah.
it never abates.
Right.
And so, I mean, I can have 3 or 4 sips of it until it starts to taste like poison.
Right. And then you're good.
And that's not my thing.
Do you have a go-to beer?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, right now, there's a local brewery called Fremont Brewing. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of great stuff, and so does Elysian as well. But for me, the best beer in town right now, if you're coming through for PAX West, let's say, the best beer we have in town, I think, is Fremont's Lush.
Right.
We had that on the show, I think, early on.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
It's, they're not known for their IPAs. Generally speaking, it's pretty traditional.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you actually go to the brew house, they have a lot of really great experiments
Interesting.
that they
well,
run.
we've
And
gone there once or twice.
Exactly. And I think that Lush represents a real nice fork in the road for them.
Yeah, one of my favorite go-to beers of all times is Hobgoblin.
Is it good?
Oh my God, it's absolutely delicious.
It's like the pun for Hobgoblin, like always agitated me so much that I never bought it. It's actually good.
It's really,
Every time I would see it, I'd be like,
yeah, you're like, Hobgoblin. No, it's actually a great, good, fantastic beer by Witchwood. And
Never heard of it.
They have a whole series, but Hobgoblin is their staple, and it's absolutely fantastic. So if you guys see it, just grab a bottle, and you're gonna love it. Yeah, there we go. Twice James. I had a Hobgoblin tonight.
Well, there you go. Exactly right.
It's fantastic.
Oh, yes, Rip. So Rip just established an avocado toast fund.
Yeah, I'm getting fed by
Whitefire.
Thank you so much. He's wasting away. He needs those.
those fats.
He needs those vegetable fats just to sustain his frame. So one more.
What is a good beer for someone who doesn't like beer to start off with?
Oh, well, I mean, so when we were putting together Velvet Rope and Velvet Cape, our first thought with those beers was to make them approachable for a non-beer fan. That was
Right.
because we made it with Mike in mind.
Right.
I would grab a Hawker Shore.
Yeah, Hawker Shore is a good one. It's
Super light, because in general, German beers are going to have
Yeah.
really big malt and relatively minor bittering.
yep.
I feel like you can't really go wrong there if you're trying to get into the form in a way that, because some of it's just overwhelming. Like,
Right.
You don't want it.
Well, you don't need to get hit in the face with a double IPA right away.
No, don't start there.
Another good one to look at is any kind of wheat beer, because that's going to taste a little more candy-ish for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be overloaded with hops typically.
Right.
But if you find a wheat beer, that's going to be a really good place to start, like the Dunkel, like the Velvet Cape.
Exactly. Like made with that purpose.
Right.
What do we think, Dave?
It's good. Yeah, Dead Man?
Oh, Rogue's Dead Guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rogue's Dead Guy Ale is very good.
Yes.
I think that was one that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That has a classic flavor. Mm-hmm. Eckler, thank you so much. Goodness gracious. I've never even seen that icon. I've never seen that icon before.
I feel like now at the end it tastes more like beer,
Yeah.
which would encourage me to drink it faster.
Exactly. So now it tastes. So what he says is that after another week of rest, it tastes more like beer. The profile back, that in just a couple weeks in, 3 weeks in, was so gentle, and now the hops are trying to reassert themselves.
Right.
So he says it would make him drink it faster, less of an aesthetic goal, maybe with this beverage. Precious Channel, it has been a pleasure as always.